goodness, it is very strange indeed how things tend to work themselves out. There's a word, it's called karma. Well, something happened last night during the game. All right, Mabery was trying to guard Paige Bueckers. And all of a sudden, the winds of karma came blowing through the arena. All right, once again, a lot of fans were calling for a suspension, which of course did not happen.
What happens when trash talk meets twisted ankles and the basketball gods decide enough is enough? Buckle up, because in today's episode of Poetic Justice, Marina Mabery runs her mouth and ends up running straight into karma's crossover. And guess who's holding the receipt? Paige ankle snatcher Bueckers. From flexing to flopping, it's the plot twist nobody saw coming, but everyone secretly hoped for. Stick around, because this isn't just a fall, it's a full-blown karma dunk from the heavens.
When they're down. Or I'm not one to laugh at a player getting hurt, because I don't want anybody to get hurt, not whatsoever. But guys, I gotta laugh at this a little bit, just a little bit, because this is karma. You know, the universe speaks for itself. The universe hear all, see all. And guess what the universe just did? Marina Mabberry is seriously injured in the game following the Caitlin Clark brutal debacle. Yes, I could not make this up. And guess who she's playing?
Sophie would wipe the floor with Marina Mabery faster than you can say one-season contract. Let's just call it what it is. Mabery is already gassed before the second quarter starts. She looks like she's running on fumes, not fire. The only thing getting cardio when she plays is the bench from all that subbing in and out. And somehow, every year, some poor team thinks this time, maybe she's the missing piece. Spoiler alert, she's not even the missing puzzle box.
You know, we just work together.
I felt like you were really attacking the rim tonight, and you just talked about the aggression on defense, but I thought that offensively you were just really a spark plug with the way you attacked that defense. Was that part of the game plan coming in, or did that just kind of the game come to you in that way?
You know, I've been, shying from, attacking the rim in these past few games, so, I just had to, turn a different mode, help my teammates out, they was in foul trouble, so, that was our main goal, just keep getting to that free throw line, so that was the focus.
For either one, I guess. Can I give us Paige's aggressive defense in the first half really tight on you guys?
This isn't personal. It's pattern recognition. Every season, New Jersey, same results. It's like a traveling circus act, but with less coordination and fewer standing ovations. The only consistency in her game is inconsistency. One night it's maybe solid rotation player. The next night, she's out there like a confused NPC trying to find the basketball in a VR simulation.
Simply put, send the rest of the league a message. The WNBA missed an opportunity to take that. By the way, referees completely bleeped that whole thing up. I mean, they effed it up royally, right? And then after the fact, they came back and said, oh, yeah, it's a flagrant 2. You don't say. You don't say. Kathy Engelbert, get some real referees and fire every one of them mother scooting sons of bees out of there. Get them out.
Now contrast that with Sophie, who could probably take a nap mid-game and still outscore Mabery. Sophie's got that blend of IQ, tenacity, and controlled aggression that just makes other players look like they're stuck in demo mode. She doesn't need to flex. Her game is the flex. While Mabery's busy throwing up bricks and side eyes, Sophie's running plays like she coded the game engine herself.
Help my teammates out, they was in foul trouble, so that was our main goal, just keep getting to that free throw line, so that was the focus.
For either one, I guess. Can I give us Paige's aggressive defense in the first half really tight on you guys? At what point did you feel like you were able to find that extra room and kind of take off there?
I think the first quarter we let them speed us up a little bit, and we turned it over quite a bit. So I think taking care of the ball and not letting the team speed us up, but get it across half, get what we want our offense to look like, and just take care of the ball better. We started doing that more in the second half, so we got more shots up at the rim, which led to more offensive rebounds and more possessions.
Go to Rob on the Zoom.
Hi, I'm Tiago from the WNBA.
Mabery's biggest highlight lately? Getting cardio while chasing players who just dusted her on the fast break. If defensive awareness were a Wi-Fi signal, she's permanently stuck on one bar. And that's if she's even in the game long enough to register on the box score. There's a reason the ink on her contract barely dries before she's packing her bags again. It's like Groundhog Day, but with more turnovers and less hope. She's not a secret weapon. She's an open file folder of missed opportunities. And somehow, fans still try to spin her potential like it's year one. We're a decade deep, people. The potential is officially expired. If your contribution to the team is mostly awkward spacing and unforced errors, it might be time to hang up the rotation dreams and take up assistant coaching, or broadcasting, or podcasting, anything that doesn't involve 94 feet and a scoreboard. It's not even that Sophie's just better, it's that she's galaxies ahead. Sophie plays chess while Mabberry's out here flipping checkers like it's a personality trait. One knows how to read a defense and dismantle it. The other thinks defense is a fashion brand. You put the two of them in a matchup and it's going to look like varsity versus junior rec league. Sophie doesn't even need to trash talk. Mabry's stat line does it for her.
Up here, and we'll start with last night. Paige Bueckers picks up a technical foul, the first of her WNBA career. Congratulations to Paige. And other players seem to be fine with it. Paige Bueckers has got to be about the most universally liked player in the WNBA. It seems like, at least from a rookie, who's getting a lot of hype standpoint. Because here's Paige walking around the court during this Sun game. That was the clapping thing that she did to the ref to get the technical foul. And some of the Connecticut Sun players, J.C. Sheldon and Marina Mabery, are like, hey, come on. Why did that happen to you?
And let's talk about those trades. Mabberry gets traded like expired milk, quickly, quietly, and with a note that says, good luck. You know the player's not exactly in high demand when the league-wide reaction is just a collective sigh and a, well, that's about right. If being a roster filler were an Olympic sport, Mabery would have had gold by now, maybe even set a world record in most times confused for a game changer before the first time out. At this point, if a team signs her, you have to assume it's out of pity or confusion, or both. She's the kind of player that gets into the game and you hear the entire fan section collectively groan like, oh no, not again, because they already know what's coming. Missed rotations, late switches, and the occasional mid-range shot that bounces so hard it sets off car alarms. And sure, every player has bad games, but Mabery has turned it into a lifestyle. It's not a slump, it's a memoir. Her minutes are a masterclass in mediocrity, and not the charming kind. More like the, how did she miss that again kind. Coaches have that permanent look of, I've made a huge mistake about 3 plays in. Meanwhile, Sophie's over there casually dropping dimes and disrupting offenses like it's a casual Tuesday. You don't even need to check the box score when Sophie's on the court. You feel her presence.
Hey, look. So this is the play right here. You see? Ankle breaker. Rewind it back. Look, watch this, bro. Hold on. Look. Icky. I shouldn't laugh, but got her with the side step. Now, she did later return, guys. But at the time when I made the video, it was questionable. She was going to come back, but she did come back and return to finish the game. But, guys, I just thought this was the worst karma ever to exist. Now, there's a lot.
The other team knows they have a problem before the tip-off. You see them already adjusting their game plan like, how do we stop her? Nobody ever says that about Mabery. Ever. At best, it's just don't foul her. What makes it even more absurd is the way some folks still try to hype Mabery like she's on the cusp of greatness. She's not on the cusp, she's on the curb. She's had more comebacks than a soap opera villain and none of them stick. It's like watching someone reboot a crashed computer with a hammer. Not effective, mostly loud, and doomed from the jump. If Sophie and Mabery were ever put in a one-on-one, it would need to be censored for public safety. The imbalance would be outrageous. Sophie would probably use the time to practice her offhand just to keep it remotely interesting. It would be like watching a Tesla race a tricycle with a flat tire. Competitive in theory, tragic in execution. You'd think with all the travel from team to team, Mabery might at least collect some lessons along the way, but nope, still the same broken mechanics, still the same court confusion, still that face like someone else was supposed to rotate. And fans are still defending her like she's a misunderstood genius. At this point, it's a delusion dressed in team colors. The league isn't unfair to Mabery, it's been way too generous. Any other player with her level of production would have been forgotten faster than a preseason scrimmage.
So lads, today we're going to be talking about something when it comes to Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers, and this is something that happened in last night's game, and it just shows kind of amongst just the way everything is in the WNBA. that there is like a level of, not hypocrisy, but there is a level of like Caitlin Clark being just treated completely different than other players in a similar boat. And by the way, like, Caitlin Clark was there from day one. I understand why teams went hard against Fever.
But here she is, year after year, getting chances like she's a secret MVP nobody understands. Except, there's nothing secret. We've all seen it. The tape is out there. The box scores are public. The reality is plain. She's not that good. She's not even almost. She's never was. So let's all stop pretending this is some Cinderella story waiting for a glass slipper. Mabery lost the slipper, the carriage, and the invitation to the ball. And Sophie, she's already at the after party. Trophy in one hand, opponents in the other. The difference between them isn't just skill, it's mindset, IQ, and the ability to actually stay relevant past the national anthem. It's not mean, it's math. You can't rewrite performance history with Instagram edits and hopeful captions. At some point, everyone's got to admit what's been obvious for years, Mabery's not the answer. She's not even the question. Just a revolving door of underwhelming minutes while players like Sophie keep proving why they belong without ever needing to say a word. And if the league wasn't already having enough secondhand embarrassment from Marina Mabery's all-expenses-paid tour of mediocrity, last night sealed it. Paige Bueckers, yes, that former Caitlin Clark teammate turned nemesis of mediocrity, linked up with Sophie Cunningham and absolutely obliterated Marina. It was like watching two lionesses take turns playing ping pong with a stuffed animal. Paige didn't even look like she broke a sweat, just casually carving up Mabery like she was practicing on a Nerf hoop in her dorm room.
There you go. Paige, I guess first of all, did you get any clarification about what happened with that technical and why it was called?
Yeah, I clapped twice and I said and one, and he said I clapped in his face, so that's all.
For both players, just what were some of the positive takeaways that you had, from getting a second straight win?
I feel like the aggression we showed tonight. I feel like defense won this game tonight. We was aggressive on both ends. We stayed composed. Our chemistry was working. We just worked together.
Sophie? She treated Mabery like a live demonstration of what not to do on defense. Every move was deliberate, every shot a lesson, every look on her face screamed, "You shouldn't be here." Meanwhile, Mabery was just trying to find oxygen and someone to blame. Spoiler, the only person responsible was the one in her sneakers. At one point, Sophie crossed her so bad, even the camera operator flinched. She didn't just break ankles, she shattered pride, confidence, and possibly Marina's last contract renewal. And Sheldon? Let's talk about Sheldon. She's out here like Mabery's evil twin, tag teaming in the art of dragging down team chemistry and entertainment value. Together, they've become the dynamic duo of disaster. No ball movement, no rhythm, no idea what's going on. You'd have a better time watching a group of toddlers chase a balloon. Sheldon dribbles like the court's made of quicksand, and her shot selection is the stuff of horror movies, only instead of a slasher, it's just repeated rim clanks and poor decision-making. They're not just hurting their teams. They're bruising the league's reputation because, let's be honest, no one tunes in to watch chaotic energy in yoga pants. We want skill, we want chemistry, we want clean passes, smooth plays, and actual basketball, not emotional tug-of-wars on hardwood. Watching these two fumble the game feels like watching someone argue with the microwave. Confusing, unnecessary, and not what anyone signed up for.
I think it's the music you're playing. All right, look. So this is the play right here. You see? Ankle breaker. Rewind it back. Rewind it back. Look, watch this. Watch this, bro. Hold on. Look. Icky. I shouldn't laugh. But got her with the side step. Now, she did later return, guys. But at the time when I made the video, it was questionable. She was going to come back, but she did come back and return to finish the game. But, guys, I just thought this was the worst karma ever to exist. Now, there's a lot of stuff that is being said now on Twitter. Many fans is kind of poking fun at the whole situation. And I came across this tweet right here.
Meanwhile, Sophie and Paige looked like they were auditioning for the WNBA All-Star Globetrotters. The spacing, the passes, the timing, it was a basketball clinic. They weren't just dominating, they were mocking with finesse. Paige ran point like she had telepathic communication with Sophie, and Sophie responded like she was scripting the game in real time. It was harmony. Pure, merciless harmony. Now imagine being Mabery stuck between Paige's handles and Sophie's footwork. That's not a game, that's a live-streamed intervention. Every possession was an exercise in helplessness, and yet some delusional corner of the fanbase still wants to pretend Marina has untapped potential. Sis, the only thing untapped is the water cooler she should be sitting beside. The saddest part? This isn't even entertaining beef. This is sloppy, cringe, high school cafeteria drama wrapped in professional uniforms. People don't want to watch petty fouls, rolling eyes, and tension thicker than peanut butter. They want actual hoops, they want buzzer beaters, fast breaks, and athletes who know what a defensive rotation is. Watching Sheldon and Mabberry share a court is like watching a comedy that doesn't know it's a comedy. It's time to call it. Enough with the Fight Club cosplay. Sophie and Paige are out here giving us basketball artistry, and these two are giving us budget improv. The league deserves better. The fans demand better. And if last night was the wake-up call, someone better start shaking Mabery and Sheldon out of their delusions before they become permanent background noise to greatness. And just when you thought things couldn't spiral any lower than Marina Mabery reenacting a solo episode of Lost on the court, here comes the real kicker, the violence. Not passion, not grit, not healthy competition, violence. What used to be family-friendly basketball nights with popcorn and squeaky sneakers has turned into a brawl circus where elbows fly like confetti and the refs might as well be watching on YouTube like the rest of us. Only difference is, we're yelling at our screens, they're just letting it happen. It's honestly shocking. I paid for the WNBA League Pass expecting skill, finesse, team dynamics, actual basketball. What I got instead feels like someone merged a grudge match with a low-budget WWE promo. I set up Prime Video for the big games, YouTube TV for backups, synced the apps, got the calendar ready. Game nights were sacred. Now, I feel like I need to pre-screen the games in case someone ends up with a black eye before halftime. We're not even being dramatic. This isn't physicality anymore. This is sanctioned chaos. And don't even get started on the officiating. It's like they spin a wheel labeled call or nah before every whistle. One girl gets hip-checked into the next decade, no foul. Another blinks too aggressively, and suddenly it's technical time. There's zero consistency.
So it's really people out here defending Marina Mabery for Madden hit sticking Caitlin Clark to the floor, saying that she's just protecting her teammate. Marina Mabery's page, and you look in the comments, man, you got all the black clan members that hate white people so much, man. Now they're Marina Mabery fans. They're like, she's my favorite crash out. So now y'all like white people when another white person does something to the white person that y'all can't stand so much. And then all the women that you see hating on her, most of them are lesbians. They got the little rainbow flag thing on their profiles, hating on Caitlin. Like, the hate is so forced, man. And it's like, look, y'all keep saying that basketball's a contact sport. It's not, bro. This is not football. This is not hockey where you can fight, man. There's a reason why when you make contact, it's a foul, it's a flagrant, or you get ejected, man. If y'all want to see violence, go watch UFC, go watch boxing. This is not what you do in basketball, man. And then people want to keep being like, did you see what happened?
And when a league's own officials start making it feel like a Russian roulette of bias and indifference, the fans suffer most. I'll be real. If something doesn't change fast, I'm canceling everything. League Pass? Gone. Prime? Canceled. YouTube TV? Bye. Why should I keep paying just to feel secondhand embarrassment and frustration from a product that refuses to clean up its act? The WNBA is sitting on a gold mine of talent. Paige, Caitlin, Sabrina, Aja, Sophie, and they're letting it rot in an environment more hostile than competitive. And what's worse, it's not even just the players. It's the culture creeping in, the hit first, cry later attitude, the revenge fouls, the blatant shoves that somehow escape all whistles. It's become less about who's the best baller and more about who can swing hardest without getting caught. Newsflash, that's not basketball. That's a turf war with sneakers and ponytails. The WNBA used to be a great place to introduce young fans to sportsmanship, strategy, and the beauty of team basketball. Now you've got to pause the game and explain to your kid why someone just got shoved into the scorer's table without a tech, or why the announcers are praising toughness when it looks like a bar fight broke out in the paint. This isn't growing the game. This is alienating the audience that actually care.
Look, I don't think every time Paige gets mentioned, Caitlin Clark needs to be mentioned, and vice versa. Paige has had a very good rookie year. I do think it's healthy in the sense that she plays a similar position to Caitlin. So if there's going to be a natural rivalry that emerges, if Paige can carry the weight of that, that would actually be great for the WNBA. But right now on her own, Paige is making a name for herself and going out there and explain the technical after the game. Here's what Paige Bueckers had to say.
At this point, if you want less carnage and more talent, you're better off watching high school highlight reels on TikTok. At least there, you won't be paying monthly to watch someone body slam an opponent under the rim while the refs sip invisible tea. The league has one job: protect the integrity of the game. And right now, that integrity is face down somewhere near half court. We've got athletes with world-class potential being forced into glorified gladiator matches. The skill is being drowned out by shoving, cheap fouls, and a league that seems more interested in posting viral drama clips than cultivating actual respect for the sport. That's not what we signed up for, not what we paid for, not what we supported for years. So yeah, I'm out. Unless they clean it up and stop pretending chaos is entertainment, the subscriptions go first and the viewership follows.